Let's do it.
Film Fanatics. From the silver screen to your earphones. With Alan Azulay and Gal Balaban.
Welcome back to Film Fanatics, where we talk about the movies that have us obsessed, excited, and inspired. I am Alan.
And I am Gal, and today we're going all in on the world of Pandora, aka James Cameron's Avatar.
That's right. Some of you might remember that Gal loves Avatar, and I had a different memory of it. Did that change? Let's find out.
We're joined by a very special guest today, a journalist, actor, and our friend. You may know him from his main role on Disney's Best Friends Whenever as Chet Marcus. A film fanatic himself, his favorite movies include Before Sunset, Zodiac, and Magnolia, and has even interviewed one of his favorite directors, Paul Thomas Anderson. Please welcome to the show, Matthew Royer.
Hi, Matthew.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Great to have you.
Great to be here.
Awesome. Are you ready to get into some movie news with us?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm ready.
Awesome. So, first on the trades this week, Henry Cavill is officially out as Superman in James Gunn's and Peter Safran's newly named DCU. This has caused a lot of controversy online. Hashtags, movements, Snyder fans going insane, as they do. And I really am curious to see both of you guys' opinions on this one. Let's start with you, Matthew.
I personally, I'm more of a DC Comics guy than DC Media. I think their television stuff, especially on the animation side, has been solid for years. Live action, they just can never get it right. I liked the Suicide Squad, and I liked what James Gunn did with that. I liked what he did with Peacemaker, but I'm really interested to see what happens with the DCU. I feel like there hasn't been a cohesive slate given to the audiences. I love Henry Cavill as an actor. I think he's a fantastic Superman. I think Man of Steel is a great movie. But I think this is necessary to at least move forward. I know 2 months ago they had the whole, "Oh, you're back." He left The Witcher. They announced, what was it? Was it Liam Hemsworth to replace him at The Witcher?
Yeah.
And he seemed very excited to come back to Superman. This feels almost like it may have not have been James Gunn's decision originally even to bring him back. Obviously, I think that's the case. And it's just an unfortunate situation for a lot of people. But I think Henry Cavill understands what this industry is. And I know he wants to play Superman. But especially after the news we're hearing about what happened with Black Adam and possibly their finances being misconstrued to the media, and maybe the films haven't been as profitable as we have thought. I think this is the right move going forward, at least to at least start anew. What I am going to be interested in, is at least in DCU, is what counts as part of James Gunn's universe and what doesn't. Because are we counting the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker as part of this new DC, or are we starting from scratch, maybe with the Batman as the first film of his DCU world? So it should be interesting to at least find out where he is going with this. But back to Henry Cavill, it just sucks that a great actor, he's been waiting so long for this opportunity, and it's just being squandered now.
Yeah. To cover a couple of points that you brought up that were really good for this conversation, both James Gunn and who's the director of the Batman again?
Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves. They both confirmed it that the Batman is not in the new DCU continuity. There hasn't been an official confirmation so far as to if anything else that we've seen already is gonna be in that continuity. I think that if James Gunn reboots Wonder Woman, Superman, which he's already confirmed, he's even writing the movie himself, Um, if he reboots that and he doesn't reboot his own characters, I think that's gonna look really bad for him.
Well, he has debunked that rumor, but again, it doesn't make things clear. Like
Exactly.
he hasn't clarified the direction he's going, and I'm kind of tired of like, oh, we're taking a new direction because now it's like, yay, Superman's back. And I was like, oh, maybe not. But
Yeah.
here's what I'll say. I love James Gunn and what he's contributed so far to the DC universe, but I feel like they're doing too many of these false starts. I think they just need to roll more with the directions that they want. Like, even if you don't want to like make a big Superman movie, I feel like it would be jarring to just have him with a new actor right after his supposed return as Black Adam in Black Adam. And because they also have that with the Batman, there's like Batfleck, Keaton, and not Reeves, and Pattinson. And now there would be two Superman actors. I feel like it's a little bit jarring. And even if you don't want to develop like Man of Steel 2 properly, I feel like it would be at least nice to not have announced he's out as Superman, to still have the door open for some supporting roles in other characters' movies.
See, this is the part where I disagree with you. I think this is where DC has bumped into so many problems, is because of that ambiguity, because of that. Oh, but maybe. Oh, but maybe. Like everyone keeps saying for the past few years. Oh, is Ben Affleck still our Batman? Is Henry Cavill still our Superman? People keep wondering because WB doesn't give a straight answer. So if we're going for the full reboot, which, like you, Matthew, I think that's the best move to get everyone back in the same page. Just reboot everything, like have a cohesive universe. And if you want to run the Batman in parallel, because apparently Matt Reeves doesn't want his Batman to be in this universe, it's fine, whatever. I'm of the opinion that this Batman should be in this universe to make everything more cohesive, but whatever. I'm not. I don't have control over that. But I feel like that it's the right. If they have to have one actor for everything, maybe not this Batman situation right now, but ideally they should have one actor for everything. It should be decided. There shouldn't be like any doors open, so any fans have any like ideas or they don't support a good movie because they're like, oh, Henry Cavill is not in this, so I'm not going to support it, as Snyder fans are probably going to do anyway.
Yeah, not to mention there's sort of a Phillips verse now because there's Joker 2.
Oh, don't get me started on that. I feel like this is one of the things that James Gunn needs to like nip in the bud. Like, there's too many versions of these characters.
Well, the problem is, I mean, with Warner Brothers and DC, is too many promises have been made.
Exactly.
You have these different worlds that have been introduced. Because now, let's just say, you have your Reeves world. You have this the Phillips Joker universe. You have Gunn's universe now, and then you have this universe that's still kind of supported by things Zack Snyder did, because you still have the Flash in distribution hell. That is waiting to be released. You still have Aquaman 2 that has yet to been released. And I'm just gonna throw it out there that I have a feeling DC and Warner Brothers aren't gonna throw away these billion-dollar productions, for the sake of starting anew. So even though they're saying they're starting a new universe, you're still gonna get stuck with these. It's I'm gonna call it the New Mutants syndrome. Because you had the New Mutants with Marvel. It was during the merger of Fox and Marvel, and you have this Fox and Disney, and you have this project that has been in production for so long, and obviously it wasn't a great film. Everybody knows that, but
It wasn't very good.
I still haven't watched it.
Took forever to come out because of this problem. I mean, you could also say, well, Dark Phoenix also was struggling. So you have these two films that people didn't want to see because they knew it didn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
And so they're going to lose out on money on these projects. I mean, Jason Momoa is a draw. I'll give them that. Can't say the same for The Flash. Unless, you have Michael Keaton out there telling everybody his Batman is the lead, which is not a case that I think can be made. But you have these films that genuinely I just do not see people going out. They're going to go to the theaters, but not in droves. You're not going to have the number one box office response you really want. And I think that's where James Gunn is going to realize he has a problem very quickly, because he has these. You could even call it four, because even the Zack Snyder universe is not cohesive. There's too much going on. The actors are the same, but everything else isn't. So I think that's too many promises. And then you have, your animation division. I mean, arguably the best DC film made in years was Teen Titans Go to the Movies. So
Still haven't seen it.
You really have this struggle here now where I think maybe even DC should be just developing animation and calling it a day. They might. I understand why they want to go for a cohesive universe, but at the end of the day, money is the answer.
Oh yeah, there was League of Super Pets. I still haven't seen that.
I still haven't seen that either.
And apparently, Super Pets was good as well. I didn't see it, but apparently it was good. But apparently, it also had The Rock in it.
Yeah,
because he has to be in everything.
The Rock is like Superman's dog.
Yeah. I didn't see Black Adam, but I'm just almost glad I don't have to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can watch it on HBO Max now if you have nothing better to do.
No, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't have anything better to do.
So there you go. I will say one thing. This is something I've been saying for years, but of course I'm not there in Hollywood in this meeting, so who's gonna hear me? But I feel like they have the perfect blueprint for a universe in their hands. And I'm not talking about the MCU, I'm talking about the animation. The animation universe that they build with the movies is fantastic. And it all connects, but you don't necessarily need to watch every single movie to understand. But they all connect, they all build up to bigger movies. And they all kind of keep telling the same story. So like, you have it right there. That's why I'm a supporter of them blowing everything up and like starting anew completely, ideally with bases on DC animation, because it's so good. They had this base since the 90s, since the Batman cartoon came out, and it connected to the Superman cartoon, and it connected to the Justice League cartoon, and Justice League Unlimited, and those were all fantastic shows. And then later on to the Teen Titans. So like, they have a really good blueprint, and I don't understand why they don't use it. Like, it's actually not that hard. So maybe let's see if Gunn's idea seems more similar to this, because he wants to tackle like younger Superman, so it would be like the beginning of the universe per se.
Well, I like that. What Gunn is actually like the whole plot of his, or at least the synopsis of the idea behind the Superman story. He's not going for an origin story. He's going for a kind of what they did with Year 2 Batman.
Exactly. It's probably going to be like Year 2 Superman.
Exactly. So if he's at the Daily Planet and, he's doing his thing, I'll be excited to watch,
Exactly. I'm very excited by the synopsis he wrote. And I think people should give it a chance. I hate how the Snyder fans have already like created a hashtag to fire him, and like there's all this toxicity.
But Snyder fans are going to do whatever they want.
But they're getting more people riled up, unfortunately.
Check. Someone needs to put them in check.
And yeah.
James Gunn's trying.
Exactly. So let's see. I'm willing to give this a chance. But again, if he only reboots his own, if he only reboots Snyder characters and not his own characters, I feel like that would be problematic. I feel like
he's debunked that rumor already.
Yeah, but like debunked in a way that you're like 100% sure that they're not coming back. Because the only thing that we're 100% sure now is that Henry is not coming back and that he's writing a Superman movie.
Well, no, he said like he responded to a tweet that said like, "Oh, James Gunn's rebooting all the Snyder characters and not his own," and he said we're not only rebooting all the Snyder characters except the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker.
What? So he said something like we're building up on stuff that works and we're tearing down some things that didn't. So that makes me scared that he might do that. He might even keep 1, 2, 3 characters, which again, even though I love those actors and I love a lot of them in those roles, they're really good. I think the thing now is to like just start from scratch, honestly. And no need to feel that bad for Henry Cavill. He already has his next job lined up. He's gonna be a producer and the main star on the Warhammer 40,000 TV show and cinematic universe. Apparently,
He loves
um,
fantasy.
exactly over at Amazon, and I'm still holding out hope that he would be a Targaryen sooner rather than later.
Well, people think that
I
he's
mean,
already shot scenes for the MCU, so like
That
people are
can
gonna
also
think
be a
about him.
possibility.
and you have to give him credit. He loves doing what he loves doing. I mean, he probably had this lined up already,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he knew what he was wanting to do. And give him credit where it's like he loves his
he's a nerd.
fantasy. Yeah, he's a true nerd. I remember back to like Marvel. If he joined Marvel, he so badly wanted to be was it Captain Britain?
I still
You
think he
know,
could be a great Captain Britain.
he so badly wants to be it. And I mean, even if it's as a cameo, I don't care. Just throw him in there. He's a great actor. And it honestly would make Marvel money to put him in a Marvel project because those Snyder people,
They'll come.
they will support Cavill no matter what he does.
He's got his Matthew Vaughn movie coming out next year, so that's for me more exciting than Warhammer.
Yeah, I'm not that excited about Warhammer,
I
but
don't even
like
know what it is.
the idea, it's like a video game question mark. But the idea that Matthew threw out there that has been around for a while, the of him playing Captain Britain, there was some people that saying that he would be a good Reed Richards for the main universe. I think that would be a cool idea as well, because he can play a bastard really well. Uh, so yeah, if I were Kevin Feige, I would be on the phone with him like right now, like for that fuck you DC money that he can bring in.
Alrighty. Next news is coming in with a bang or an explosion, whatever you want to say.
Oops,
Um,
that's not it.
that's not it. Well, here's what I'll say. All is right in the world because a new Christopher Nolan movie trailer has dropped, and that is the trailer for Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I'll get it up there
Should I
eventually.
say it again?
No, you can. No, let's keep it on.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
All right. First trailer for Oppenheimer dropped, and apparently screened in some IMAX screenings of Avatar 2. Not mine.
Not mine either.
Unfortunately.
Not mine either. But I saw it on I saw it afterwards, and goddamn, I love this director so much. This looks so good.
There were a couple times in this trailer where I went, "That's a Nolan-y shot right there."
And it came out in the trades this week as well that he actually recreated a nuclear explosion. I don't think it was an actual nuclear
Without
No,
explosion.
he said it would be cheaper than doing it through CGI.
I doubt
which,
that.
Okay, he didn't get an actual nuke.
But I still doubt that. But like I love that he did it because it looks fantastic, and it wouldn't look as good in CGI for sure.
I thought the trailer was I'm glad it. The trailer that's been playing in theaters. The countdown clock and everything going on. After seeing it twice, you want it to end. It's a very basic trailer, which is fine. I like trailers that don't give away anything. To be fair, it's a true story, so not really giving away anything.
They win the war
But-
at the end. Spoiler.
Yeah, exactly. He scares them into submission. But you have great filmmaking here. I'm glad it wasn't in black and white like the previous trailer.
Yeah, that's. I
That-
was scared that the whole movie was gonna be like IMAX but black and white, and I was like, maybe not.
What's the point?
To film an explosion in black and white would have been so sad.
Stanley Kubrick has entered the chat. Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah,
But
but
I
in
really,
2022.
I really I'm kind of interested. The trailer also didn't really showcase the cast as much as I thought they would, and so I'm really excited that maybe audiences are in for a real surprise here when they get into the theater when this finally does release. I am interested because it's a Christopher Nolan film that is not really it's not based in fiction. So we're really getting something new with him here. It's not going to be the traditional Nolan experience, I think. So I'm really excited. This seems like a pet project of his, and I'm this trailer made me excited for it.
Yeah, I'll say one thing. I completely agree. That's really something unique coming from him, something that he hasn't done before, and I feel it's great timing for that because I feel what's the name of his last movie again, Gal? I don't know why I'm
Really?
blanking. I'm blanking.
Tenet, bro.
Tenet, thank you.
Tenet.
So Tenet was the most Nolan movie he ever made. So I'm excited to see something that goes like more against that, to see how he tells the story that really happened. I'm really excited to see that.
Don't forget Dunkirk existed, huh?
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I think it's like his first movie that wasn't that, at least since like The Prestige or something, that's not driven by fight scenes or like physical action besides like
That
the explosion.
we know of.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe Oppenheimer like punches a reporter or something.
I'm excited
Exactly.
to also
Who
see Robert Downey Jr. supposed to be in
The
this
pics
movie.
came out. It was
Um,
good.
there's a bunch of cool people in this movie that I'm very excited to see working with Nolan for the first time.
And in the trailer, like you said, we don't see like Emily Blunt or a lot of the big people. I saw Jack Quaid in there. I saw Josh Peck, but maybe in the trailer in March or April or whatever,
Yeah.
we'll see like a Infinity War lineup of actors.
And Cillian Murphy looks fantastic here, right?
He looks incredible.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not American, so I didn't study all that shit in middle school or whatever. But like we got through very broad strokes of the wars. I'm assuming you guys have this guy as some hero or something. So
No, nobody really views him as a hero here.
Really?
It's really, we view him as like a. I mean, he invented something.
He wasn't
Okay.
the planner.
Inventor.
Like he was a theoretic physicist.
okay.
Yeah. If anything, I would assume if for those who do know who he is, because I assume most Americans have no clue who he is in the first place, because Americans are very
Close-minded.
I don't want to say dumb. They don't. We don't really
Uncultured.
pay attention. We don't pay attention to our world.
To what we don't need to.
And if we do, it's about James Gunn starting a new DC universe.
Literally.
But with Oppenheimer,
Shots fired at ourselves.
Most people who do know who he is have probably a negative connotation to
There's
who he is.
Got it.
If you want to get ready for this movie, there's on the Epic Rap Battles of History channel. There's a Thanos versus J. Robert Oppenheimer rap battle.
There you go. If you
Oh,
wanted,
perfect.
if you
Learn
wa-
some facts about him.
if you wanted an uncultured way to find out about this man, there you go. But yeah, my point being like I don't really know what he looks like even that much. But Cillian Murphy looks different enough from himself in other movies to like get a little bit of that suspension of disbelief going, and yeah, I'm super excited to see what he does with this role because it does seem like a really like meaty role.
But if this movie isn't your thing, there's going to be a different movie out on the same day that you can walk into.
I will be at this one instead. I will tell you.
I'm doing the weirdest double screening of all time. And I think you're gonna be with me, so you don't have
I'm
an
just
option.
hoping-
We might.
I'm just hoping I can see this in IMAX and not Oppenheimer.
So Barbie stars
Yes.
everyone in Hollywood who wasn't busy on Oppenheimer at the time.
Exactly. Half the people in Hollywood are in Oppenheimer, half of them are in the Barbie movie.
And it's like Mission Impossible 7 comes out the week before. So by then, only those two movies will be filled.
Oh, why do they do that? There's so many weekends in the year. Whatever. They're the ones losing money, not me.
Mission Impossible will be fine.
Uh,
yeah. What do you think of the trailer, Matthew?
I really liked it.
Me too.
First of all, I like trailers that just don't give away things. And while it did kind of give away the tone of where they're going with this, I just kind of like how it was an homage, and I'm really excited for Barbie. I mean, I love a Noah Baumbach screenplay. So I'm
Damn good
excited for
writer.
this.
Yeah, I haven't
as
seen his latest
always.
yet. I don't know if you.
Greta,
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if you
haven't
went to
seen
see
White Noise. Yeah,
I saw White Noise in theaters, which I was very lucky to
Yeah.
do.
we don't have it here yet.
No, it was playing in
No,
theaters,
it'll
but
be
not on
Netflix. I
Netflix.
saw it in like a screening thing.
Yeah, next
But,
Friday, the 30th.
Next Friday's coming out on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love Greta Gerwig. She's a fantastic director. She's also writing. It's a co-writing. They're married, actually. And
She refers to him as partner.
I love Margot Robbie, so I can't complain.
And
It's
she
gonna
looks
be
like a
fun-
Barbie doll in that shot. She looks exactly
Well,
like a Barbie doll.
the only
originally
time that's a
Amy Schumer
compliment.
was cast as Barbie.
Oh
and
my
they
God.
changed it to Margot Robbie.
They
Yeah.
dodged a massive bullet.
I remember that. It was supposed to be a completely different movie, though. I don't think it was supposed to be as like highbrow as this ended up becoming.
I think as soon as Greta
Um,
Gerwig joined, they're like, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
No,
and
I think Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach both work the best when there's not a studio in the way telling them what to do.
yeah, I agree.
And I think this is them. People are going to be upset. It's an intellectual property movie. It's Barbie. It's a brand, but I really think they're going for something different here.
But like, what is there to be
and-
upset about with Barbie? It's like almost on every property. It's like Mario going woke. They're ruining this movie. Like people take some of these IPs way too seriously.
Oh, they're going to. Didn't you see the trailer? There's black and Asian and Hispanic Barbies, so people are gonna get upset about that for
Oh
sure.
my god.
Because people are horrible.
I'm just excited for Barbie. It's like been my number one film. Like excited for 2023.
Wow. We're doing that episode
I just-
next.
Yeah, no spoilers for us, but it's up there.
It's up there. Okay, good.
I just love Simu Liu doing like this thing.
He's supposed to be Asian Ken, is that it?
I think he's supposed to be a Ken.
No, awesome.
And Msute Gatwa, who is the current Doctor Who.
Oh, cool.
And of course Gosling.
Gosling looks great as Ken, and that is like Gosling and Ken, and Gosling as and Robbie as Barbie and Ken are like dream cast because they look like the characters, and they have like the quality of actor to make me interested in something like this. So yeah, I feel like they're gonna do like a great job in this one.
I'm pretty sure Ryan Gosling was meant to play Ken.
From the beginning.
Didn't you told me
when
once?
he was born, they were like, "Oh, you're gonna play Ken one day."
I think Alan said once on the show that he was like, that he said it was like the greatest script he's ever read, and I'm like,
Both him and Simu Liu said that.
this is the guy who was in The Big Short, La La Land, Blade Runner 2049, The Nice Guys, like best script he's ever read.
I'm so
Hey.
interested to see what is this script because it's been hyped to infinity at this point.
They can both write their ass off. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
both of them. I mean, Gerwig, her big coming out was,
Lady Bird.
Lady Bird.
Lady Bird and Little Women. Not Little. It was Little Women.
Yeah.
Yeah, Little Women. And then Baumbach. I mean, Baumbach's been writing for years, but Meyerowitz stories, Marriage Story. You
Frances Ha, he wrote with her
Spitting the
too.
Whale, Frances Ha,
They wrote
Miss
together.
America.
Great
you
writer.
have all these great films, and both of their writing styles are very conversational, and I'm really excited to see how that translates to something like Barbie, because it's very quippy. Their dialogue, it's very quick. They know what they're trying to get across. So I'm just really excited.
Yeah, I think you're not going to get any pushback on this one here. Like, we've been excited about this movie ever since they told us that Greta Gerwig was directing. And when it came out that she and Noah were writing it together, and then the casting, like, the excitement just builds up and builds up and builds up. So, yeah, I won't spoil the position, but it's up there. It's up there in my most excited for next year, for sure. Okay, are you ready for the next one, Gal?
We are.
Okay, there you go.
Donald Glover is now, I guess, hanging up the cape as Aaron Davis, which was like 1 or 2 scenes in Homecoming. And now he's playing Hypno Hustler for one of these Madam Web, Craven the Hunter, El Muerto spin-offs that may or may not go into limbo, may or may not start filming. Look, they did this with Aaron Taylor Johnson, where he like played a side Marvel character, and now he's this. It's confusing. I love Donald Glover, so if he's producing too, which is apparently the deal, like, look, as a creator, I just think he's the best. So it's not that I'm complaining about him being a part of it. I just think the universe is weak. The Sony universe of Marvel, the Morbius verse, Venom verse, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know if you can tell by my my reaction how much I hate this. Why are you taking Donald Glover and putting him in a shit show like this Sony Marvel Extended Universe?
Is this the reason Atlanta ended? No.
He could have been such a good what's the name of the villain?
Prowler?
Prowler. He could have been such a good Prowler. Like, why do this? I don't get it. Like, we're so close to Miles Morales in the MCU. Like, let this universe die and let Marvel produce director films for you.
Didn't you see all the profits that Morbius made? Their business is booming. Like Kingpin says in Spider-Verse.
They even re-released it to $0 amount of money.
I think that I'm honestly not upset with this news. Donald Glover, after reading into it a little bit, looks like Donald Glover's really getting full creative control over this project. He's kind of being told, you can do whatever the hell you want to do, as long as you stay true to this character who's been in 2 comic books.
Yeah, he's been in
2 ever?
He's been in like 5, I think.
And still no Batgirl
on
movie.
The list of all top 10 worst villains of all time.
Oh my goodness.
So he's really able to start fresh and do whatever the hell he wants. I don't know if you guys have seen Guava Island.
Not yet.
I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list.
It was his music video movie with Rihanna a few years ago. And while I didn't like it, the one thing it was able to do well was actually bring the music to the big screen, because the music actually changed what the story was doing. So I think that this is something, I think that maybe there's even a concept album in here, that there's a reason why he's doing this film. And I think that's more of a Childish Gambino project than a Donald Glover project at the end of the day.
He's back.
And I think that's what I'm actually excited for.
Okay, see, if they pitch it like you just did to me, that might be the only reason for me to give this movie a chance.
But we have no way of knowing.
Exactly.
It's true.
But I don't know. I just feel like he could be... maybe that's more the Donald Glover fan in me rather than the Childish Gambino fan in me, because I am fan of both of these sides of him. He's an incredible creator in general. But I really want to see him in different stuff. Like, he's a great actor. He's a great even like director and writer. So like, I would really like to see him in different stuff. And if he is gonna be in something of that nature, I would really prefer for him to stay as the Prowler. But like, again, if they go with the way that you pitched it, that might be something that I might get into. But this whole Sony Universe thing, man, like, it's just disappointment after disappointment. I still haven't seen Venom 2, and I don't think I'm going to.
Oh, I liked Venom 2.
Really?
I did not.
I think Venom is the strongest thing they've done. And I think it's going to continue to be the strongest thing they've done. I liked Venom 2 actually better than Venom.
I thought they both sucked.
I don't think Carnage was developed properly, but I think it was a great film. At least for the Sony Marvel universe.
For that level.
Yeah, I'm not going to give it a...
Well, the first one set the bar pretty low.
Yeah, so, I mean, well, I even liked the first Venom film.
The first one I liked enough, but like, it didn't...
It was bad.
Like, it was like a weird 90s popcorn superhero flick.
It was
like the deleted scenes from The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
So, and we're about to get Venom in the MCU as well, so like, it's too much.
Or supposedly, maybe, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
We have that there is the symbiote at the end of that film.
Yeah, exactly. So
Who knows?
I don't know. I really hope that they this has nothing to do with what we're talking now, but that they focus a lot on Tom Holland Spider-Man in the next one,
This
not
is
universe.
what we're talking about. Nothing to do with what we're talking about, but everything to do with what we're talking about. Because at the end of the day, the Sony Marvel universe is probably leading up to a collision of some kind. Because there's no way you have Tom Holland locked up for another 10 years-ish. And you're not going to throw him into this
they try
Madam
to do
Web superverse you're making.
They try to do a weird thing with Michael Keaton, and I don't know if that's going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I think the path forward here, like you have Tom Holland's next trilogy, and I think he'll be done after that. This is, I think, in the industry, like almost certain. Like they're reaching close contracts and all that. That's what's coming out in the trades. If that is the case, I don't think you should do another Peter Parker. I feel like it's time for him to pass it on to Miles Morales, even though we have the animated one. Could even be the same character as much as I care, because that's a great movie. So yeah, I feel like I agree with you. Like after these 3 movies, I feel like Tom Holland's gonna go bye bye, and we'll get a new one, which is why I was excited to see him as the Prowler, because if we get a Spider-Man Miles Morales, he would be a great first villain for him, and it would be like so shocking and sad for him as a character. But whatever.
At least they did it well with the Mahershala Ali version in the animation.
That was really good. Okay, are you guys ready to move on? So, this one is
FNAF. That's how you abbreviate it.
So apparently, Five Nights at Freddy, the movie is moving forward with Matthew Lillard of Scooby-Doo greatness, and Josh Hutcherson. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his last name.
Josh Hutcherson. There was actually a poll somewhere, I think either Reddit or one of those like Hollywood sites, and they asked like the fans who were the top castings of all time. Number 2 was RDJ as Iron Man. Number 1, Matthew Lillard as Shaggy.
It's perfect casting. You can't complain about that casting. I'm not a Five Nights at Freddy guy.
Me neither.
I've never played it, but I mean, I've only seen Matthew Lillard in older stuff like Scream and whatnot. Josh Hutcherson, I don't know if he did anything since the Hunger Games besides The Disaster Artist, which he had like a very supporting role in. So maybe this means a comeback for both of them. Maybe it doesn't get made. No way of knowing.
I still want Scooby-Doo 3. Fuck this shit.
Written by James Gunn.
Hey, I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
Yeah, he's too busy.
But yeah, I think we've mentioned before we have like a saying in the show, Matthew, that like we go, as long as this person is getting money, I don't care. And I feel that way about Matthew Lillard. So as long as he's getting money, make whatever you want.
I don't know. I'm a fan of horror movies. I love horror as a genre. I think it's a great medium, especially for actors who aren't really movie stars anymore. Which I think Josh Hutcherson at one point was a movie star. You could give him Hunger Games.
And that one movie with The Rock, Journey to the Mysterious Island.
Yeah, the Center of the Earth movies.
Yeah,
you give him those. But with The Rock, yeah. But after those, he didn't. I remembered him in The Disaster Artist. Other than that, he hasn't done crap. Maybe he did animated. Maybe he was a voice actor for a bit. I don't know.
Future Team, Future Gang. I forgot what it's called. Future something.
Don't even know what that is.
It was some show that he did. Wait, I need to find another name.
Yeah, if this is what he wants to do, I mean, I'm sure he has money for days. So I'm not really worried about him. Hunger Games money is something I think every actor would wish for. But, you have to give him some credit. Horror is a great way to get back into it. And I think this will be fun. It'll be a fun movie whether you know anything about the IP or not, which I know little to nothing about FNAF.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same boat on that one. But I agree with you. Horror is one of our favorite genres here on the show. And if it's a decent, like a good horror movie just needs like decent visuals and a good script and some good actors, which it has in these two. So let's see what they come up with.
Okay, I'm only saying this because it was really bothering me. Josh Hutcherson did a show called Future Man. It was some dumb sci-fi
Oh, I know
show.
Future Man. I know
Yeah?
Future Man. Okay.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
That was Josh Hutcherson?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Apparently, okay.
Okay, so this is the trades for this week. Are you ready? Are you guys ready to move on? We're gonna talk about our Total Recall movie of the week. If you haven't watched our show before, Total Recall is when we talk about a movie that has perhaps something to do with our current review, perhaps not, but that came out a while back, and we see if it holds up. This week's Total Recall is on Avatar from 2009,
Wonder why.
directed by James Cameron, written by James Cameron, even edited by James Cameron. He had so much control over this movie. And starring Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, Michelle Rodriguez, Giovanni Ribisi, and that's something else. And Giovanni Ribisi. First question we usually ask around here when we're doing Total Recall, and I'm gonna direct it towards Matthew. Does it hold up?
I actually was able. So, for you guys, I guess I could say this morning I went to go see Avatar, the Way of Water. But the day before, I caught it on a premium cable channel, the original, and watched the entire thing, commercial breaks and all.
Ooh, that's a warrior right there.
I know.
Haven't done that in a while.
It does not hold up. I didn't see it in 3D when it originally came out. This is a film I very clearly, I think, believe needs 3D to at least work as a film. It needs an editor, is what I took away from it. It's boring. The story does not cohesively fit together. It is very long. The writing is just mediocre at best. The acting performances are fantastic. Acting is not the problem with these films. But if I could watch the entire Avatar film, okay, finish the film, go into the sequel, and before I watch the sequel, I had to think to myself, what's the main character's name again? I think that there's a problem there.
Is it Jake?
Jake Sully.
It's Jake Sully.
Okay.
That's like, for me, that's like such an iconic sounding name. Jake Sully.
Jake Sully.
And
exactly.
I think I could have remembered Sully. I don't know if I could have remembered Jake. And so you have this film, and it did wonderful things for the medium of film. I'll give it that. It for years it's been brought up as probably, at least technically speaking, one of the greatest films of all time. When you're talking about what they were able to accomplish with CGI, mocap, but it does not hold up. At least, especially now when comparing it to Way of Water, which I'm sure we'll get to in a bit.
I'm gonna be honest. I disagree about holding up. This is a movie that I've watched a lot of times. I didn't catch it in theaters because I was 7 at the time, but I watched it a lot of times when it was on TV and whatnot, and I really loved it. I also think almost anyone would say it's one of the most beautiful looking movies of all time. And then they re-released it in September in 3D, and I decided to go, and watching it on a big screen, even so many years later, it felt like discovering a movie for the first time. And it still looks better than say some of the superhero movies that are coming out now. And I think that's a lot to the world building of Pandora. Yes, the story is really basic. There's movies that came before that do almost the same thing, where there's a guy who comes in and is like protecting the indigenous race, and he changes sides, dances with wolves. The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise, which is a movie I love.
Pocahontas.
It's basically Pocahontas.
Blue Pocahontas. But I do think the execution and the visuals and, like you said, the performances more than make it a very immersive movie that I feel is really rewatchable. And we could also talk a lot about the impact it had on media because of its use of 3D and CGI. Let's talk a bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to get started with like my part in it. Saying I went into this movie with a more similar feeling as to what Matthew has. Like that's the memory I had, that it was like a pretty bland movie. I did watch it in theaters, I believe 5 times when it came
Oh
out.
my goodness.
Um,
So you really had a journey with it.
I was 13, I think, maybe 14 when it came out, and yeah, I watched it with my parents. Then I watched it with friends like multiple times in theaters, and I remember having the best time. But it not years later, I didn't have a very fond memory of it. Again, similar to what everything that Matthew was saying, that's what lingered with me more when I watched it at a later point. Um, but I will say, I don't know if it's because I had hype for the second one. Maybe I let that get into my head. I don't know. But I feel like now I land somewhere in the middle between you two. I feel like I can agree with a lot of points that both of you brought up, and um, but I will say I really enjoyed watching it. It was a good experience. Um, I did something I do sometimes that really helps movies that are a bit too long. That I split it. I watched it half in one night, half in the night after. Um, so I was like more energized for the second half, I guess, and that did wonders for it. Um, and I really ended up having a really good time. So I think Gal, would you um you would give it this movie maybe like a 9.5, right?
Yeah.
And Matthew, I'm assuming you would go a little bit more towards a
Out of 10,
5,
I'd give it a 6. I'd give it a
6.
6
Okay,
because the thing is, while the writing is mediocre and the plot is very basic and bare bones for what it is. I mean, unobtainium. You got to be kidding me.
Okay, that I
It's
agree with. That I agree with.
that's right.
and you have this movie, but with the things it just did for film in general, and it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
You got to give it that, and I think at the end of the day, that itself makes it a good experience to at least watch.
It also started the 3D renaissance of
Oh.
every blockbuster
Which
coming
is
out in
funny
3D.
because Avatar was the only one to do it properly.
Exactly. I was gonna say that. I was gonna be like, I don't like that it did because nobody knows how to do it. Um, okay, so I would give it an 8. So I guess it's right in the middle between you guys. And I would like to point out that this movie has 10 Academy Award nominations for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing for Matthew Surprise, and mine maybe as well. Uh, Best Original Score and Best Visual Effects, among some others. And he won Best Art Direction, Best Cinematography, and Best Visual Effects. And I agree with all of those. All of those aspects of the movie were really good.
I would have also maybe given it original score because honestly, the score in this movie
The
is in
score
my
is
top
beautiful.
10 of all time.
Yeah, the score is fantastic. I don't
Yeah.
remember who it competed with.
Wait, what year? What year?
It lost
was
to
that?
Up.
2000.
It lost to Up.
It was
by
the
Michael
Oscars
Giacchino.
of 2010.
It lost
Find
Best
out.
Picture
Let
to
me
The
look
Hurt
it up.
Locker.
Oh yeah, and he
it's
lost
probably-
Best Direction to his ex-wife, didn't he?
Exactly.
That's gotta
let's
hurt.
see. Score.
Up was the
Best
winner.
score.
Michael Giacchino.
It lost to Up.
Yeah.
Was it Michael Giacchino's first big score, maybe?
Yeah.
Only first win. Oh, his first big score.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I'm
he did
asking.
Incredibles and Ratatouille.
Oh,
he was
yeah, you're
nominated
right.
only for Ratatouille and Up.
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't remember Up score that well. I haven't watched the movie in years, but
There's a one track, Married Life, during the whole
that
torture scene.
that is a
That's
beautiful
amazing.
song. But yeah, I agree. The score in this movie is fantastic.
It's honestly one of my favorites, maybe even top 5.
But yeah, I forgot about this. One of the best Oscar moments of all time: James Cameron losing Best Director to his ex-wife,
Yeah.
Catherine
Catherine Bigelow.
Bigelow for The Hurt Locker.
Also a good movie.
Also a good movie.
Um,
But I think that's it for Avatar, right? I think we all
Oh, I was gonna ask one thing.
go.
Do we
go
think
for it.
the villains in this movie hold up?
I don't.
Because I really like Stephen Lang, but Giovanni
I don't know.
Ribisi,
It's
I don't know.
the villains aren't the story though. I don't really know if that's really the point of the film.
But it's a funny question
I
because I
don't
want
think
to
you could.
because I want to bring up one scene that even though I love this movie, I think is like funny, but I don't think intentionally. Is where Giovanni Ribisi is like hearing Sigourney Weaver's speech about Awa and like the network through the trees. And then he's like, "They're just goddamn trees."
I laughed
And I'm
my
like,
ass
A
off when that
plus
happened.
environmentalism writing.
I mean, I think, but that was within character though.
It was.
It,
It really
it makes
was.
sense.
Yeah, he was an.
It
He
was.
was
This
a.
is funny.
He was a capitalist asshole. Of course, he would say that. That's
They
that.
want their unobtainium.
He wants the
But it
unobtainium.
can't be obtained. Don't you know?
Yeah, I feel like the villains are a bit cartoony, but again, like Matthew said, I feel like that was really in character for them.
But I do actually really like Stephen Lang's performance. He sells Miles Courage so well.
He does, but I think he does a better job in the next movie we're gonna talk about.
Agreed.
Really? Okay, so we should get into it then.
Let's get into it. So we are reviewing the new blockbuster sensation, apparently, because it just made like $600 million in like 4 days. Avatar: The Way of Water. It came out just this past weekend. Again, directed by James Cameron.
According to
And,
himself, the only person who can direct an Avatar movie.
Yeah, but I think he already walked back on that.
Yeah, wait, he said he wants to pass the torch eventually if he makes 6 and 7.
Exactly. And but this time not written or edited by him. He was
Really?
just a director, and he wrote it in a writer's room type of situation with multiple writers to help him establish the universe moving forward. So they wrote already, I think, until Avatar 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's the plan right now.
So they have that all mapped out. And yeah. It starts most of the same people as the first one, even though two of them died.
Exactly.
Plus Kay Winslet and Cliff Curtis, plus the kids. And I guess I'll throw to Gal because I know how excited he is to talk about this movie. What did you think, Gal?
I loved it. This is maybe my most anticipated of the year.
Yeah, we've been clashing about that for like the past 2 years.
Yeah, because watching a movie like this on the big screen, it's something unrivaled. And I think everyone coming out of this movie, no matter what you think of the first one, agreed that what James Cameron achieves here is just as amazing, at least. And again, the story's pretty basic. I'm not gonna say he creates like the best screenplay of all time, but I think visually and the vibe, the editing, the way the camera moves, even when most of what you're seeing is CGI, it looks really amazing, especially the stuff underwater. I mean, I've been scuba diving a lot of times, so like it really just captures the beauty of the underwater without ever making you feel like it wouldn't be there. Like even Aquaman looks great, but you know it's not really there because it's like out of this world. It's Pandora, but there's something grounded even though it's so out there to the visuals.
Yeah, I agree. He makes it feel like it's so real. Like it's crazy, especially watching it in 3D, in the water scenes. Like, again, I hate people that do that, and I like. I really don't like watching movies in 3D, but this guy just knows how to make movies in 3D. It's crazy. I hate people that like try to touch things and all that. But I gotta say, if I saw some kids doing that, I'll be like,
I get
I
you.
understand your confusion, my guy.
I
This
don't
is
blame you.
beautiful.
I want a pet whale too. You know, I want a pet
Exactly.
whale.
Oh, that whale was.
Exactly. But if you're over 18 and you're doing this, you have a problem. Uh, Uh, so yeah, I agree with everything you said. Like it is a bit of a basic story, which I think was the problem with the first one as well. Like it's a revenge tale in this one, and
And a story about capital F family, Vin
exactly.
Diesel style.
But I gotta say, I had a blast watching this movie. In and in a different way than I have a blast like watching like an Avengers movie or something like that. Because I feel like when I watch those movies, I probably have a smile on my face more often. I'm more excited more often. But this was more of an experience than anything else. I just really, again, I hate people that say that, but I really felt transported to the world of Pandora. And in my head right now, I'm killing every critic that said that in 2009, and I thought it was the stupidest thing I ever heard. So yeah, I agree. This movie is fantastic.
I have to echo both of your thoughts. I mean, it really is a great immersive experience. Uh, I don't like 3D at all, but I knew I had to see
Guess I'm
this
the
in
only
3D.
one.
Yeah,
It is the fact that I was almost impressed with the 3D in this film, like the way that with the perspective would shift in 3D was beautifully done. You had characters entering from in front of you, which technically would be the bottom of the screen without 3D, but because you're in 3D, it's entering in front of you, and it made things feel very real, very like you were part of like you were part of Pandora. Um, the one thing I think in this film that worked the best, I think that's different than the first, is it really does work better in water and not in the forests.
I
This
agree.
story
Interesting.
is so much better that it's taking place in this world that, yeah, it's the same planet, but it's a completely different environment, and everything is more. I mean, obviously, you can do more. I think it's physics wise. I think is what I had a problem with a little bit in the first film, and it made things feel so much realer having them be in the water. Everything felt a little bit slowed down in the way things work. Not as I know a lot of people claim the first film is just one long Xbox 360 cutscene, um, but
Wow.
That's what,
this film didn't feel as much of that.
that's actually what my
And I
friend
actually
said. Is he was like, there was one part with like Miles Quaritch. I don't remember which scene exactly it was, but he said this looks like a cutscene. But I love that.
no, it's the frame rate. It's the reason that behind it is
Yeah.
the frame rate, and which was a choice. I honestly don't like when films are sped up to that
I
point.
don't like it either.
Um,
But they make it
Ang
but
work.
Ang Lee has
they did
gotten a
make it
lot of
work.
flack for it. Here they did it well.
I think, unlike I think both the Europeans, I think the plot here really was fantastic.
Hmm.
I think that was the one thing this film actually capitalized on, was that we actually had stakes. There were beautiful moments throughout. I think it was a cohesive 3-act film. Each act had its own personality. And I think the one thing I do have a problem with, it does feel like a rehash of the first film.
There are some moments. That's honestly my main complaint in this movie. Is there are some moments where he was trying a little too hard to remake, or like nod to the first movie, like when Miles
Yeah.
goes, "We're not in Kansas anymore," or um, or like certain needle drops. Like, don't have a problem with using James Horner's score pieces of it again because it's beautiful, but like at the height of the second act where something terrible happens in both movies, he used the exact same score.
I didn't notice
It's
that.
probably to invoke the same emotion, which is fine. Um, I I I also didn't hate the child acting, which I
Me neither. Which
which as a former child actor myself, I'm very picky about. Um,
He's very picky about
and
it, and he's not a
I
child
will
actor.
I will I will I will say I did audition for this film.
really?
Wow.
Um, in 2016
Oh yeah, they
I
filmed it a
was
long time ago.
I did audition for this film twice.
Are you
Can you
able to
say
say
for
which
what
part you read
and
part?
for?
we did not receive script materials for this movie. They
Okay.
had us bring in our own material, so I did not even know what part. I'm assuming a child. because I was a child. In 2016, I was 13. I did audition for this film. It was the weirdest audition process in my life. Because when you know nothing about, like, obviously we knew it was Avatar, but we had nothing to, we knew nothing. But yeah, this started filming in 2017, which is insane. I read an article yesterday that Edie Falco, who she played the military gal in this one.
I think I've seen this.
Yeah, she said that she thought that this was already released and had flopped because she filmed it so long ago.
And she just hadn't heard about it, so she assumed that no one went to see it.
Which I honestly respect, going up to that. But this is making $600 million in a weekend, so I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, and I'm assuming she's probably in the next one as well, which has already been filmed, as well.
I believe these were filmed as one movie.
As one, yeah.
I think either Winslet or Zoe Saldana said that they were going back and forth, shooting a scene from 2 one day, and then the next day shooting a scene from Avatar 3.
Gotcha. I will say one thing, Matthew. I am very picky with child actors, even though I wasn't one. I have a really complex situation with them. If you watch the show a lot, you know this. And he
also makes a lot of exceptions on the show. He's like, I don't really like child actors, but
exactly when I do like them, I really like them, and it was the case here. It was really good. Even Sigourney Weaver was good as a child actress.
Yeah, so that put me off because
I loved that choice, honestly.
No,
me too.
I thought she did excellent, and I thought it was a really creative way to put her. But every now and then, I'm like, this is a 73-year-old woman's voice coming out of.
And I'm assuming she's gonna grow up for probably Avatar 4 and 5 or some shit, and then it's just gonna be her.
No, but it's a great character.
Works for me.
Works for me as well.
I honestly think, like, specifically Sigourney Weaver's character and another one of the kids, they're at least like as poetic and interesting characters as Jake and Neytiri and the rest of the
kids
adults.
were the best part of this movie, honestly, when we're talking about story, I think.
Spider.
Bro. That's all you hear in the third act with the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So I think that's actually my one complaint. The kids is, do they know how to refer to themselves other than bro?
I don't think they did.
Yeah, they didn't have Instagram where they could say fam.
You have to remember
Dog.
also, it's 2016, so it's a lot less.
Oh my God.
There's a lot less vocabulary for adolescents back in the day.
Well, what I noticed, this was a Rick Jaffa screenplay, and he did the Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah, including the upcoming one.
I believe he's even writing the next one that comes out in a few years.
And his wife, Amanda Silver.
Yeah, so like he also did Jurassic World, and I did not like Jurassic World.
The first one?
Only the first one.
Yeah, the first Jurassic World.
The first one was like okay.
I liked it. Not 2 and 3.
It was the best of the 3.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that. I'm the weird guy that likes the second one, but we don't have to talk about that.
But I think the screenplay was honestly one of the highlights of the film, unlike the first. I think that James Cameron removed himself from a lot of the production process, other than it looks like direction and editing. Which
he still has a screenwriting credit.
Yeah, because I think he led the writers' room.
Well, he led the writers' room, but when you exit yourself as the lead, like obviously it's his story. We're giving him that, okay?
Yeah.
He is Avatar, James Cameron.
Yeah.
But when you allow others to have their voice, it's not really his as much as it was, and he allowed others to give their input, which I think was probably the biggest thing needed from the first film. And I wish he had I want to make sure that he edited this film, right? He edited it.
He did.
He did, so I was wrong. I'm sorry.
No.
I thought he didn't.
He had co-editors on this one.
So
he had it on both. He had it on both.
Yeah, he edited on both. But he brought in 3 editors. One was the guy he edited Avatar with. But he brought in 2 others. And it looks like this film was a little bit more, again, cohesive, the 3 acts. The fact that I could really pinpoint what's going on, and it actually felt like one movie. Although my dad did point out to me that it felt like 3 television episodes. Even with the cutting to black in between scenes, it
Ooh.
really felt like they were like, okay, this is going to be on FX here in America. I don't know if you guys have FX there.
You just
This is going
ruined
to be
this
on
movie for
FX
me.
this weekend. We need to know where to put our commercial breaks in.
Oh my god.
And but again, 2016. It was 2016, guys.
But also, I feel like in a weird way, again, this might be just me like trying to give him the benefit of the doubt over like the commercial breaks, but I have a feeling he did things like that more as like, like an actual like a chapter in the story, perhaps like, okay, this is the first
I think
where
the whole
first
movie is a
ends,
chapter.
and of this story.
But also,
I don't know. That might be me just like
yeah.
giving a lot of people the benefit of the doubt.
When I say a story is basic, you can have a basic ass story that's been done a million times, and everything else elevates the story. And I won't say, "Oh, the story is weak." Like,
Yeah, I didn't
that's
think
definitely
it
what
was
I
weak.
felt here. Also, I've seen a lot of people who are complaining about the runtime, and I'm just like, I think people need to really take it easy.
That was the shortest 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Literally.
Yeah.
And people act like they haven't seen Titanic 1,000 times, which is a couple minutes longer.
And these are the
Lord of
same
the
people
Rings.
that watched Avengers Endgame like
Or
2
binge
years
Stranger
ago, 3
Things
years
in
ago.
one day.
And it was like a 3 hour movie as well. So yeah, I don't get that either.
Also, if you're going, you should know. Either it's for you or it's not for you. Don't be like, oh, 3 hours? Are you crazy? Like,
Hey, we're not like I've been waiting for a new Avatar
Yeah.
film, but it's been since 2009. A lot of people to have their 3 hours in Pandora. Come on.
honestly, I didn't feel it was 3 hours. I felt like it was long, like in the middle portion where the plot slowed down. But I could have sat for at least another like half hour and
Well,
enjoyed
at
it.
least when the film is slow, you can look at the pretty visuals.
Yeah.
At least when it's slow, I thought the development and the emotion between the characters and the settings and
Yeah.
the animals was pretty beautiful.
I do have to address a specific point about the story. I want to expose my sister for a second in the show, because she messaged me yesterday. Actually, she commented on one of the Film Fanatics posts, and she was like, she just said, "terrible," and and I text and I responded, "No," and and then like a day later, she texted me on WhatsApp, and she was like, "Alan," and I was like, "What?" She was like, "Why did you like that movie?" And I was like, wait, what? And she was like, "Yeah, why did you like that movie? It's pretty and all, but it has like no story."
That was
And
literally
I-
a conversation
And
between.
I quickly explained to her in a 30-second audio message. I'm not like exposing her in like a bad way. She's one of my favorite people to watch movies with, which was why I was so weirded out by that reaction. So I sent her a quick message saying basically like, yeah, it's a bit of a derivative story that we've seen before, but like I really like the way they told it, and like it really, really well acted and well directed, and like you said, it's a beautiful movie, and I feel like it's really building up to something.
That's an exact conversation I had with my brother after he hated Nope. And I was telling him,
There you go.
simple story, but it's freaking amazing.
Exactly.
Also, do you guys think they did the environmentalism themes in this movie better than in the first?
I do. I think it was less heavy-handed in a way, while still being heavy-handed.
Okay, so I think the biggest issue in this film, I think it doesn't go far enough in the way they portray it. Yes, the focus of this film is family. I mean, Solis stick together. But you have this big issue, I think, that, again, yes, the focus is on resources. We know this. There's whale poaching, and there's this. Obviously, this is going to come back later that humans are going to live forever, because you don't just introduce a substance like that in a film
Yeah.
For sure.
that has nothing to do with that. Like, come on, okay. But the way they portray it, again, is like it's an attack on the Na'vi people. And I think it's better done when it's an attack on the planet. And I think that's what the first film did better, was that it was an attack on Pandora rather than an attack on the Navis. But I think obviously this is a focus because it's an attack on Soli, but the Soli portion has nothing to do with the resources. This could have been two very different plot points. It could have been an A point and a B point, and the B point could have been an environmental like portion of the film.
Yeah.
So, like, in order to fight Soli, they deplete the ocean, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like the first film, Pandora comes together and fights the Sky People. Okay, even the animals who were upset at Sully at the beginning of the film, they go after they charge those rhinos or whatever the hell they were.
I love those things.
Because Anya listened to all of us at that point.
This film, obviously, our favorite whale friend comes through, but that's really the only thing that happens.
Yeah, I have a feeling, like you said, some of these plot points are just gonna be explored in the third movie, and this is why I'm moving us on to a spoiler alert. Oh,
wow!
So we can talk about a little bit more about where this is going.
I love that whale, by the way.
That whale was fantastic, and I really liked that he had an actual character arc. Like, what? You're a whale. How the hell do you have a character arc in a movie about aliens?
My favorite was when it was revealed to us when the whales that the sea people, can't remember their species name, or tribe name, but when they, because it was a tribe name, it was their tribe. I can't remember
the Metcaina.
Yeah.
Only Gal knows this stuff around here.
When the subtitles came on for the whales, I did an actual laugh in the theater. Like, I was like, oh, okay, this is camp. This is funny. Like, this is he's actually doing this. Like the whales are talking to these people. But then obviously it's realized, because their tails or hair tail, whatever. Can't remember what that's called either. Gal probably knows.
Probably.
Fins? Wait.
No, the thing that connects all of them, like.
Oh. I don't know. I just call it their Awa thingies. I don't know.
I call them their tail as well.
Their tails.
Even though it's their hair.
Even though it's their hair, I call their tail.
Yeah, it is their tails, pretty much. It's for sex and communicating with God. Awa.
I just think... I just love that the whales can talk to them. I thought that was interesting. I thought it was a cool way of putting it together. I like that even the marine biologist on the poaching boat, the one who seemed to care about the whales, even though he's on the poaching boat, couldn't really understand that.
Jermaine Clement, you mean?
Yeah, I didn't understand that point either.
I really hope they use him more because he's a fantastic actor.
I thought he died. He didn't die?
Yeah, he very clearly died.
I think he died.
He did?
Yeah, I think he died.
Shit. Yeah. I only remembered the other dude losing his arm.
He got crushed by a boat.
That's right. See, so he's a fantastic actor, so I was hyped to see him in this movie.
He was very underused.
But yeah, because I love him in like Taika Waititi's, or he co-directed What We Do in the Shadows with him. I think he's a great character actor.
I really just, I don't know. I think the whale was a fun way of putting things. Like I like obviously the whale's gonna return in Avatar 3.
No, he's getting his own spin-off show on Disney Plus.
Oh no, I hope he gets his own. Gal, you've been to Disneyland before, right?
Yeah.
I've been to Disneyland multiple times as well.
Oh, awesome. Amazing. Okay. You know the Nemo ride? The Nemo song?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes, change it to the whale.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not Brendan Fraser.
No, but could you imagine just Brendan Fraser
but
swimming around?
If you're in the RDA submarine, doesn't that send the wrong message?
I guess, yeah.
Oh, God.
No, but give us the whale from Avatar as the new ride.
Whale.
I'm not complaining. Send us to Pandora.
Have you guys been in the Pandora ride? I haven't been yet.
I haven't.
I have not.
In which park is it?
I'm pretty sure it's Orlando.
That's Disney World.
It's at Disney World, yeah, but I'm not sure which park. It's in the Animal Kingdom.
I've only been to Disneyland.
Hmm?
I think it's called like Pandora, Journey to Pandora.
Something like that. Yeah.
Here, let's look at Journey.
I've heard that it's actually a pretty good ride.
Let's look up. It's a Navi River Journey. Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom. Yeah.
It's the lamest ride they could have given an Avatar ride. Oh, this is called Avatar Flight of Passage. Oh, in the park, Animal Kingdom.
Rides. They have
Got
multiple
it.
rides.
Yeah, they have
don't
a they have a Pandora land.
Pandora, the world
in
of
Animal
Avatar.
Kingdom. Yeah,
And the thing is called Animal
kind of like
Kingdom.
the
Got
Star
it.
Wars land, the Harry Potter land. They have like
Yeah,
a
I
Pandora.
thought it was called. I thought
Uh,
the Avatar land was called Animal Kingdom, and I was like,
Apparently,
really, James?
Flight of Passage is one of the best rides they ever done. Like I've heard it from multiple people that it's a fantastic
you
ride.
This is cool. You can eat the culture of Navi. They feed you what the Navi eat. Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Guess
Anyway.
we're making a trip to Disney World.
Yeah, let's all do it next weekend. On Christmas, that would be horrible.
Watch them like Flight of Passage, and you can sit on the thing while watching The Way of Water if you pay a little extra.
Okay, so let's move on to what lies ahead. I guess this movie makes it pretty clear of what's coming, right? There's a big actual war coming between the humans, the Sky People, and the Navi. I like that it wasn't that much like, oh, you have to come back, you have to come back. You know, like some blockbusters are. They're like, it just looks like they left way too much for the next one. Like I felt like this was a complete story by itself. If we didn't have a third one, I'll be like, yeah, of course some stuff will happen in that world, but like I felt satisfied. I don't know how you guys felt in that sense. But it does seem like it's coming, like it's culminating to like a really big blockbustery
And get
battle.
ready. Avatar 3 comes out this summer. It's called Oppenheimer. And that's what the Sky People are to. Oh, no.
It's like Oppenheimer's son is Giovanni Ribisi, and he was inspired to found the RDA.
It's actually a prequel to Avatar. Okay, so apparently the producer just said that filming is 95% completed in Avatar 3.
And they've started on 4.
And they've started on 4. And so they're going to start post-production pretty soon. And it should be released in 2 years' time, December 2024. And I don't have any reason to doubt this one because this movie is making so much fucking money that I feel like at this time Bob Iger might just point a gun at James Cameron's head and be like, finish it.
Well, James
No,
Cameron, I mean, he very clearly knew he was making. I mean, he said 4 and 5 were the only ones he didn't know if he was going to be able to make.
He said
So-
4 and 5 depends on the success of these, but he started shooting scenes from 4.
Yeah.
Well, you can, as we know with Warner Brothers, you can shoot as much as you want, and they will still cancel your projects.
Yeah.
So I obviously I don't think Disney would do the same, but although they very well could. But I think
No, it's
think-
too much money on the table for them.
I'm excited. I think the fact 3 is practically done. If they're doing filming still on 3, it's reshoots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Also considering like this one was finished even before the pandemic started.
Yeah, so maybe what they're also doing in these reshoots is that perhaps now they see that there is an interest. They probably came back because maybe they tied it up way too well, not leaving space for 4 and 5, and maybe now they're like
Well, I think Cameron said he wants
reconstructing it
to.
a little
I think
bit.
he said his intention is to still make a complete story within the 3. I don't know what that means because everyone feels the same. Like, is this a complete story? But-
I feel like I know what he means. I feel like Jake Sully and what's her name?
Neytiri.
Neytiri might both bite the bullet in the next one.
Ooh.
I feel like that's like their trilogy, and the next ones will be about Sigourney Weaver's characters. That's just my guess.
I'm scared. Now.
I think it's interesting because in the first film, obviously the dad dies, Natiri's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in this film, the son dies. So next film, another parent's dying. That's how it's going to be a cycle.
So it's gonna be Jake probably.
I was actually
I was
thinking.
waiting for him to drown.
I was
like,
thinking in the beginning of
you know-
this movie, like, would they kill off a kid? No, they wouldn't go that far. Not in a Disney movie.
That was
And then they did.
heartbroken.
Yeah,
I was
that was-
heartbroken when that happened.
And Zoe's
They killed off
reaction.
the oldest kid, though. So was he really a kid?
He was the one who was the least developed out of all the kids.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
But I don't
Don't
know
get too
about
attached.
you guys, but really did impact me, like because I guess we were living with those people for like 3 hours, but
The 3D helps.
3D blood.
I felt
Little
like
bit
I
of-
truly was a
okay.
Sully.
I felt like I was sticking together.
but like I would say even Tuck, the small kid, even she was like even she didn't bother
Oh,
me.
the baby.
Yeah,
You know what this movie was? We were all Spider, guys. We were all Spider.
I hated him in the end. He should not have
Nathan,
saved
what-
his dad. Even though saying this, I would probably save my dad no matter what he did.
No,
So
I
I
was
kind of
sa-
get it.
Like, I
but
got it,
still.
but I'm like, you're risking the rest of your family and people's lives by doing this. He's a monster.
I honestly was surprised. I really thought that the way this film was going to end, honestly, was with Spider turning to the humans.
My friend had a theory after we watched it. He was like, he didn't turn in this movie. He kind of flirted with it sometimes because of his dad, but very subtly. But I think in the next one, his dad is gonna dangle an avatar body in front of him, and he's gonna be, oh fuck, I want that, cause it's all he's wanted his whole fucking life.
I love. There was so, there
That
was like,
I actually thought that this was like a smart take, cause like that's the only thing he wants. He feels like he's won already. He feels like he's probably not gonna be able to like get his grow if he's not blue.
No, his girlfriend is Sigourney Weaver. He's good.
No, I know that, and you know
They're
that
both
she will be fine. But like, in his mind, he's probably like, she's never gonna go for me
he could just ask
because
her.
I'm not a Navi. Has
No.
anyone in movie history ever asked anything?
No,
People
you're
just
right.
assume shit
People
in
just
movies.
commit mass murder instead.
Yeah, that's what people do in movies.
Also, one thing I really
what I'm
love.
interested about though is like, at least for the next films, we can assume that God, what's the main villain's name? I already
Quaritch.
Corey. I don't
Miles
know.
Quaritch.
Kurt.
So that's the name of the
Quaritch.
sport in Harry
Okay,
Potter.
Yeah,
That's Quidditch, but
Quaritch,
okay.
It's the same thing.
He's the only one to survive of the Marines. We can tell.
Yeah.
Now, what if they just create a whole bunch of Quaritch avatars? Because they just have his memories and his
Yeah.
skill set on that card anyway. You just plug it into every single avatar you got and just send them to Navi.
I feel like they would just kill each other.
That's a fair point. I don't know,
That's
man.
actually so good.
That would be an insane movie. Just 50 Quaritches against one Sully.
It's like the Loki episode 5 where he ends up in like limbo or whatever, and there's a bunch of different Lokis, and they're all fighting for power.
They're all different for
That
no
would be
reason.
Quaritch.
For like no reason. There's no narrative reason for them to be different, but one of them is like old for some reason. The other one is
One's
like
an
an alligator. The other one is
There's like Quaritch with DID.
it's like Kid Quaritch.
Gay Quaritch.
Yeah, I would watch the shit out of that. Oh god.
There's like Quaritch who only sings instead of talking. I don't know. So he's
The multiverse of Quaritches.
also, one thing I love that they really expand in this movie is the portrayal of Awa as like
The goddess.
the goddess that they like that is actually real through the trees, because they're not just goddamn trees. Like the whole scene where, because Kiri's basically the child of Awa, and
Yeah, she's Jesus, right? That's the whole thing.
that's what my friend said
She's
after
like
watching this movie.
she's Jesus Anakin, right? That's the whole vibe.
Exactly. So I just love like the way they build on Awa and their beliefs and how they actually connect to it. Like especially with her speech, which is like, I can hear her heartbeat. It's mighty, or some shit. Like I really
That
like that
sounded
character.
so cheesy in the trailer,
Ex-
and it
except-
really works in the
except-
movie. Go on.
Except when she has epilepsy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you giving Awa? Why are you giving your spiritual daughter epilepsy? Oh, I love when the
And I love how humans try to like put everything in this completely unknown word in like aspects that they would understand. They'll go like, "Yeah, that's an epilepsy that you got from like interacting with a god." Yeah, sure, dude. You're a good scientist. Good on you.
Also,
Here, let me give you your IV.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. The one dude, the guy who loses his arm at the end, the hunter guy, the Australian guy, he annoyed me so much.
Who?
Yeah, that was on purpose, though.
Yeah, he's like the guy who talks about he like takes the yellow fluid from the whale and he's like,
Ah.
this literally stops aging.
Oh,
or
that was a
whatever. Like,
weird
supposed to hate
shot.
him.
Yeah, but that was a weird shot of him like being like torn apart. I felt that was one of the because
Sorry. The arm flying at me in 3D was the coolest thing.
I loved that.
Experience.
It was like an ooh out loud moment.
no, for sure, that was so fun. But that was one of the only moments that I felt like the CGI whatever they were doing was like no, like not 100%, but like it was such a funny moment that I like gave it a pass.
I actually liked it.
Yeah, no, it was funny. It was just like one of the things that I noticed. But like, yeah, and the audience was crazy. Like they were like, oh, everyone felt it.
I'm also gonna be honest. I'm kind of glad they didn't really have Giovanni Ribisi that much in this movie, just because I don't know, didn't love his character.
Yeah,
But he's apparently shot scenes for the next ones. But Michelle Yeoh is in Avatar 3.
really.
As some human scientist.
What?
And
How did I not know about this?
And David Thewlis is playing a Na'vi character. All he said is that he's done mocap. But he's also an excellent character actor. So I can't wait to see what he does.
Wow, Michelle Yeoh.
Maybe
What a
she's
year.
maybe she's like the next Norm or whatever he is. Like maybe she joins the Na'vi because I doubt
She'll
that
either
she's
be a really bad guy or a really
Yeah.
good guy.
Yeah.
She'll either be Michelle Yeoh in
That's what
Crazy
you're
Rich
doing.
Asians or Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Or Michelle Yeoh in Shang-Chi.
I have a feeling she's gonna come to the good guys because they already have Edie Falco, and I feel like she's
Yeah.
supposed to be the new main.
I think she's like the new human Quaritch.
Yeah.
Or the new Giovanni. I don't know.
But she's not even really bad per se. She's just doing her job.
Yeah, she didn't do that much yet.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's gonna turn real bad in the next one.
I honestly
No,
didn't even realize
guys,
it was her until the credits.
She thought it was a flop. Maybe she's not even in the third one.
Yeah, fair. To be fair, she probably doesn't even remember she shot the third one.
Because she thought it was the second
She
one.
thought it was the second one, 100%.
It's like how Gwyneth Paltrow forgot that she shot Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She's like, I wasn't in Spider-Man. The John Favreau was like, you were in Spider-Man.
Oh god. She has potential. I love her as an actress. She was great as Hillary Clinton in American Crime Story. Anyway, I feel this is it. Do you guys want to give scores to Avatar? Starting with Gal because he's always excited.
It's right now a 9 out of 10, but I really want to watch this movie again. Like, maybe...
I'm going to have to give it a 9 out of 10 as well, dude.
I think we're all in agreement. 9 out of 10 all around. I think this is the first time this happened on the show. Me and Gal sometimes really collide.
I think another watch will do this film even better than...
For
I
sure.
agree.
That's what... just comparing it because it's another beloved sequel from this year that also got so much traction. Top Gun Maverick was a movie where I went a second time in theaters, and it just raised my love for that movie.
Well, this is a year of sequels, I might say.
Yeah, bro. Avatar 2, Black Panther 2, Top Gun 2.
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk Oscar chances as well for it a little bit?
Winning visual effects, hands down.
Cameron will get a director nod. I
think
wouldn't
so.
be surprised on
At
that.
this
I think
point-
he'll get a Best Picture nod too.
It's been nominated for the Golden Globes for Best Drama, which they only have 5. Critics' Choice had 11 this year. Avatar was also on. He got directing nominations in both those categories. I could even see it. I think it'll for sure get nominated for cinematography. I think it could even win again. I don't know if there's another strong competitor in that category this year.
Dark Horse to Sigourney Weaver on supporting actress.
Whoa,
Ooh,
that's interesting.
that is an interesting possibility. She did a really good job.
I wouldn't be mad. I don't see it happening, but I wouldn't be mad.
Well, I just think with these movies, especially because you don't see their faces, it's really hard to give them acting nods.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about score? Do you think it'll get a nomination again?
I don't know if it'll get nomination for score because it's a lot of reuse.
I agree with that, but at the same time, I think of John Williams getting nominated for Star Wars 7, 8, and 9, even though he reused a lot of his own themes. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. I feel like it's getting a nom. I don't know if it's gonna win. Actually,
First one didn't
I'm
win.
I'm pretty sure
Best
it's
score.
not gonna win. But it will get. I think it will get a nom. And what are you guys thinking about wins? I think there's a.
Oh wait, guys, the score is going to the Fabelmans. It's a John Williams score. It's automatically going to the Fabelmans.
Oh
You
yeah,
think
you're
so?
right.
Yeah, it's a John Williams
it's
score.
a
If it's a
law.
John Williams score, he's gonna win. I mean,
I don't think he's won since Schindler's though, and he gets nominated like every
It's-
other year.
it is very true, but I think the Fabelmans, because it's the Fabelmans.
Yeah,
Maybe it is a great score. It's for sure nominated.
for
Oh,
sure.
definitely.
Yeah, and okay, so I feel like should win for winning. It would be for best visual effects. I think for now, that's the only like shoe in that we have for like a win. For Avatar.
I think that's fair.
I would say cinematography also, but
And
I'm not sure.
Perhaps cinematography. But I think something that might happen, and you guys can correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think there's a chance Jim Cameron takes the directing Oscar this year. I think there's a real shot that can happen. It's like you said before. It's a stronger movie when it comes to direction, and the industry loves this movie. Like it's been talked about to death at this point.
Does the industry love this movie more than they love Steven Spielberg?
That's
It's
what I'm
really
thinking
gonna be the
because
question.
right now my guess is Steven Spielberg could win directing Oscar number 3.
Do both of them already? Does James Cameron have
won
one?
for Titanic.
He won for
directing.
Titanic. Okay. I would say that they are the two front runners right now. I would never put anything against Spielberg, especially because this is a greatly directed movie that he did this year. But I do think that there's a dark horse chance that Jim Cameron takes it away from him.
What I think of
Well, there's
is,
also Martin McDonough.
yeah,
Banshees
Sarah
of
Polley
Inisherin.
for Women Talking. I know you've seen it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
I-
it's beautiful. I mean, this is a really strong year for directing.
Everything Everywhere All at Once, the Daniels. I think they'll get nominated
Exactly.
at
I
least.
just watched The Banshees a couple nights ago, and such a good movie.
Fantastic.
And he is an incredible director. We're gonna do an episode on him in January where we talk about all his movies. But I still think this is a year that they're gonna go for the big name, and it's either gonna be Steven or Jim. I feel like that's where it's heading. I might be wrong.
What I think back at is like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Peter Jackson was nominated for Fellowship and Return of the King and won for Return of the King. So I think the main key here is, do people think it's better, more of an achievement than the first Avatar? And right now it's sounding like yes.
Yeah.
Even Francis Ford Coppola lost directing for the first Godfather, even though it won picture, and then won directing for the second. So it's not like,
It's not out of the realm of possibility, like for sure.
yeah, but it's just the first Avatar was so monumental that will The Way of Water feel like the same achievement and cultural stamp, which right now it's looking like people feel that way.
Yeah. And the rest, I don't know. It's I also think it's getting into Best Picture, but I think we all agree on that one, right? Not for win, but for a nom.
I think so. I think both that and Top Gun have a great shot of getting in for picture.
Yeah, and I think they're pushing out Black Panther. In a year, if you didn't have one of these, you would have Black Panther. But I think they're both pushing it out.
I don't think Black Panther, I do not believe, should be in that conversation. Only for the fact that it just doesn't do anything new, and it's a good movie, but also there's not really a standout performance in the film either.
Well, Bassett's getting serious Oscar buzz now.
Yeah.
She could be the first ever MCU performance to get an Oscar nomination.
Which I think she's getting serious buzz, but I also think supporting actress is a stacked field. You're gonna probably see an actress from Women Talking take it home.
No, but I think
and-
she'll
I'm talking
get
about
nominated.
nomination,
I think
Angela
she'll get
Bassett.
Oh,
nominated.
a nomination! I think a nomination is all but sure.
For
But you
Angela
also,
Bassett.
the performances in Glass Onion, Kate Hudson, Janelle Monáe, I think is technically supporting actress.
I think Janelle
not
Monáe
lead.
got in for Critics' Choice. She has some buzz. Jessie Buckley for Women Talking also got in. I'm thinking Carrie Condon for Banshees of Inisherin.
She's
is like
also
the
getting
front
in for
runner.
sure. Yeah.
I think she's a front
Exactly.
runner
So
to win supporting
it's a very
actress.
stacked. And as somebody who's like a SAG member, and I'll be voting for the SAG Awards come next month, I'm mostly taking into account whose performances, not based on the film they're in, but based on the performances.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's a very interesting category this year.
Yeah.
So
for
in other
sure.
words, Sigourney Weaver has your vote.
No, she does not have my vote, sadly. It's just too strong of a category. Right now, I'd have to go with Conjuring right now if I was going to vote
Carrie
today.
Condon, I agree with that.
Yeah, for now I agree with you as well. But I do have Angela Bassett as my third in that category. But to be fair, I haven't seen Woman Talking yet.
Me neither.
So
Her whole family died, guys.
Yeah.
She's queen of the most important nation in the world.
Has she not given everything?
Has she not given everything?
She has given everything for
We're
an
joking
Oscar.
about it, but I think it's a genuinely amazing acting moment.
No, it is. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I wish it wasn't revealed in the trailer.
yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
maybe true.
Anyway, this was a great episode. I feel like we talked our listeners' ears off about Avatar. But it was a great show. We enjoyed a lot having you here, Matthew.
Thank you. I enjoyed being on, guys.
Gal has told me about you for a while, so we wanted to get you in for some time.
Yeah. It's been a bit of time in the making having you on here.
Definitely.
And hopefully we can have you again soon.
Yes, for sure. Just hit me up.
Awesome.
Glad to be here.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. Do you want to shout out your social media, even though I think people can see it?
Yeah, sure. It's just the Matthew Royer on practically everything. If Twitter dies soon, you can also follow me on Instagram. But,
Letterboxd, same thing.
Just the Matthew Royer.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming, Matthew. If you want to follow us on our social media, our channel's social media is at Film Fanatics Pod. I don't know why it says Film Fanatics here. I will change it for next time. It's at Film Fanatics Pod.
Add a POD at the end.
Add a POD at the end. On everything also, Instagram, TikTok. We don't have a Twitter yet. I don't think we will anytime soon because that is going to hell.
Get ahead of ourselves.
And also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We have a new button right here. I don't think you can click it. To subscribe to our channel, leave a comment if you liked Avatar, if you think it has any chances in the Oscar races we're talking. And we'll see you guys soon. I'm Alan.
And I'm Gal. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, guys.
Film Fanatics. From the silver screen to your earphones with Alan Azulay and Gal Balaban.